आनन्दलीलामयविग्रहाय हेमावदिव्यै छविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are reading from the 17th chapter from the book Teachings of Lord Caitanya. In the Vedic literature, Katha Upanishad, it is stated that the Supreme Lord is the supreme living entity among all living entities. There are innumerable living entities, but there is one living entity who is the supreme absolute Godhead. So there are innumerable living entities, innumerable jivatmas, so many living entities, but out of them there is one living entity that is the supreme out of all the other living entities, and that supreme living entity is the supreme absolute Godhead, that is the supreme personality. He is a person and he has qualities, so therefore he is a personality, and he is the supreme personality of God head of all the gods that are there. Even the devatas, they are also god or the master of some or other department, but he is the supreme of all the godheads. He is the head of all the other gods. Like there is Ishwar, there is Parameshwar, then there is Parat Parameshwar, one who is beyond even Parameshwar. Parameshwar we know as, we say that there is Ishwar, Maheshwar, Parameshwar, and then beyond all the Ishwars, Maheshwar is, we know, Lord Shiva. So like that, beyond all the Ishwars, all the gods that are there, all the masters of different departments that are there, the supreme God head is Krishna. The difference between the singular living entity means the Jivatma, all of us, and the plural living entities is that, oh, sorry, the singular living entity is the supreme soul, and the plural living entities are the Jivatmas. The difference between these two living entities is that the singular living entity is the Lord of all. He's called Purush, and everything else is Prakriti. Now, there is a word that is used, a name that is used for the Supreme Lord, and that term is Purushottam, which means Purush, who is the Supreme Purush, or the Uttam, the best of all the Purush. What does this really mean? What do you think it really means? Purushottam, when the term Purushottam is used. Actually, Krishna is the only Purush, and there are many Purush avatars of Supreme Lord Krishna. Here, Purushottam doesn't mean that the best among all the Purushas, doesn't mean that the best among all the human beings who are male, because other than Krishna, everything else is Prakriti, everything else is the energy of the Lord, and Krishna is the only energetic, the Purush, and he has many Purush avatars. There is Mahavishnu, and there is uh, the different Purush avatars of Krishna. So, out of all those Purush avatars, the Narayan avatar, the other avatars, of all the avatars of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the best or the Uttam is Krishna himself. This is what the term Purushottam means, Purushottam. Because among the living entities, today in this birth, whoever are in the male body as a human being, we don't know, previous lifetimes they may have been female, we do not know next lifetime they will again become a woman. So therefore, in the material world, male and female is just a matter of time, it is relative. But in the spiritual world, Krishna is the only Purush, and there are many Purush avatars. And out of those avatars, Krishna is Purushottam. He is the best among all those Purush. The difference between the singular living entity and the plural living entities is that the singular living entity is the Lord of all the other living entities. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that supreme living entity. And Mahaprabhu descended to reclaim the innumerable fallen living entities. Reclaim means to call back. Chalo, it's time to go back home. Just like if the kids are playing outside and they are playing for a long time, then the mother calls them, come, 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 but the children, the kids are not ready to get back home. No, we want to play little more, we want to play little more. Then what does the mother do? Comes out, holds the ear of the child and says, chalo abhi, it's time to go home, come. So like that, Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to reclaim back these innumerable fallen living entities. In other words, the specific purpose of Lord Sri Chaitanya's advent was to establish in the present age the Vedic fact that there is one supreme personality of Godhead predominating and maintaining all the other innumerable living entities. And um, also, as we discussed this, as I said, that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to reclaim the innumerable fallen living entities. So, how will we understand that what is Mahaprabhu saying? So, we discussed that yes, we have the Guru Parampara and we should be under guidance, and our Shiksha Guru will guide us, okay, what is to be done, what is not to be done, so that we understand what is the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But many times in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we see that at certain times Mahaprabhu would directly say what is to be done and what is not to be done. But at other times, Mahaprabhu may not have directly said that this is supposed to be done or this is not supposed to be done. What is important here is to understand the mood of our Guru. Sometimes Guru may say something, Shiksha Guru may say something. Maybe the Shiksha Guru doesn't want to directly tell you that this is what you should do. Our uh, but our as in, we should have that intelligence to understand the mood of Shiksha Guru, the desire of Shiksha Guru. Shiksha Guru may say that, okay, if you want to do this, it's fine, you can do it. We should understand what the Shiksha Guru really wants, what our Guru, what our spiritual master, what does our spiritual master really want us to do. That intelligence is very much required. Therefore, everywhere we see that Mahaprabhu is saying that the most intelligent person comes in Krishna consciousness. In the material world, we use our intelligence in all the different places. We use intelligence everywhere. But the moment we come into Krishna consciousness, thap, we think that okay, now the intelligence is not required. Are, what is the use of us being in Krishna consciousness without our intelligence if we cannot understand what really our spiritual master wants? What is it that we really should do and should not do? So that is very important. It is not that every moment whether I should use um, Colgate or whether I should use Pepsodent for brushing my teeth. No, spiritual master is not concerned about that. That is your up to you to decide. What is spiritual master concerned? About our spiritual growth, about our soul. And to protect the soul, the spiritual master will give guidance, which could also be pertaining to the material aspects. Because if our surroundings are not favorable, if that guidance is not there, if we act like whimsical mad persons, like foolish persons, and the people in our around us, they are not favorable, they are not supporting us in Krishna consciousness, then even we cannot practice Krishna consciousness. And therefore it may be necessary for us to take guidance from our instructing spiritual master regarding what we should do and what we should not do in our material life. Because that will support our spiritual life. Simply by reading some books, simply by hearing a class, we will not know which way to go and which way to not go, because reading books is also comes under cultivating knowledge, which Mahaprabhu is constantly warning us against. Cultivating knowledge is most dangerous, because this cultivation of knowledge, reading too much, knowing too much, will end up or may end up in pride, subtle pride. We may think that no, we are very humble. But why Mahaprabhu is again and again and again focusing on devotional service? Did Mahaprabhu say that you study our scriptures, you read all the scriptures? That is just one limb of devotional service. Studying the scriptures is one limb of devotional service. But if that limb is not helping us to develop our the right mood in Krishna consciousness, if that is not preparing our consciousness towards Krishna, that means that limb is becoming diseased. Therefore, it is very important to do devotional service, actual practical service. Some people, for some, the service could be that they are cooking very lovingly for the Lord, they are offering to the Lord, and they are distributing prasad to many people. Okay, some people may be going to the temple to cook, so they are cooking for so many devotees. That is a devotional service. They are doing seva. It is not voluntarily that today I feel like doing this service, so I will do it. Tomorrow I don't feel, so I will not do. No. Or there could be someone who is reading something and then sharing that knowledge, or inspiring someone else to also take that knowledge. Not simply, if I simply just go and tell somebody that, okay, see, why are you not chanting rounds? Why are you not doing Harinam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting? That person doesn't even know me. I have never served that person. I have not done anything to inspire that person. Why will that person take up Krishna consciousness? Just why will that person take up chanting of the holy names? Just because I am telling him? So, therefore, first thing is, we have to be a mature devotee. We have to mature ourselves in Krishna consciousness before we go out and open our mouth. Do this and do that. That is not the way to preach someone. Preach through our own behavior. And that behavior could be by serving others. Simply whole day, if I chant 16 rounds minimum is what Srila Prabhupada said. It is sufficient to chant 16 rounds. If somebody is getting time to chant more rounds, that is very good. Instead of wasting time, it is better, it is good to chant more rounds, but not at the cost of escaping from other services. Similarly, if someone has sufficient finance, they have earned a lot in their entire lifetime. If they are not using that income in Krishna conscious charity, then what is the use of all that money? If someone can sing very well, what is the use of using their voice for singing mundane material songs if they don't use it in singing the glories of the Lord, in singing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, in singing the Vaishnav Bhajan? So, therefore, this is devotional service. One has to understand that whatever I have, let me use it in Krishna conscious activities. That is devotional service. If I cannot cook myself, okay, how can I serve somebody? I cannot cook, I cannot sing. This other person will not take my advice that please chant, please do this. Okay, what other ways can I chant? Other ways can I serve them? We have to think of ways how can I serve, or how can I inspire the other person? Not just directly go and tell them, you do this, you do that, you don't do this, you don't do that. Do's and don'ts, do's and don'ts. No, instead, let me do something for them, by which, by my behavior, they will feel, wow, That was such a kind act. That was such a sweet gesture. Maybe somebody has come to my house, and I tell them, okay, Prabhu, Mataji, why don't you have prasad in our place? Take prasad in our house. No, 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 we don't have time. No, no, okay, something. And then we lovingly, we serve them whatever is possible. If it is not possible to cook everything for them, then let me order prasadam and let me serve them. Okay. So this is how you can touch hearts. Maybe they are not in Krishna consciousness at all, but they will go back with a happy memory that this person who is practicing Krishna consciousness has such a beautiful heart. There is so much love that they gave us. Because in this material world, there is dearth of love. Everybody is looking for love. And after coming in Krishna consciousness, if we as practicing devotees, if we cannot give love to someone, then that is very sad. So therefore, first we have to connect with people. Let them connect with us. Let their hearts get touched by our own behavior. Of course, we don't have to go out of our way so much so that it disturbs our Krishna consciousness. No, that is not required. But whenever there is an opportunity, we should think, how can we make use of this opportunity to serve another person so that they can get inspired by Krishna consciousness. And when they feel inspired, when they come to you that, okay, what are you really doing? It is so nice. Whenever I speak to you, whenever I see you, whenever I'm in your company, it feels so nice. So then you have the opportunity to speak about what you are doing, what we are doing, what Srila Prabhupada has given us. So this is very important, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to reclaim the innumerable fallen living entities. But Mahaprabhu did not go about telling everybody, hey, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? No, Mahaprabhu gave love. And through love, he gave this uh, Krishna consciousness. He gave Krishna Prem. To the simple, he gave Krishna Prem immediately. To the complex, he gave it through teaching them with love. There was sternness, he was strict, but he was strict with himself. To the other person, he was teaching with intelligence. So we have to use our intelligence to understand how can we become more matured in Krishna consciousness. What is the mood of my spiritual master? When I am seeking a guidance, it does not mean that every now and then I come back and ask, okay, what should I do about this? What should I do about that? We have to understand the mood of the spiritual master. We have to understand the ultimate purpose behind any guidance that we are seeking. Which car should I buy? If that car is meant for material purposes, it has nothing to do with the spiritual master. Whichever car you want to buy, you can buy. But you have a purpose that I want to buy a car with which I can serve the devotees. I want to buy a house where I can serve the Vaishnavas, or when some Maharaj is coming, some sannyasi is coming, they can stay here, we can serve them. If that is the purpose, then it is worth taking guidance that what kind of house should we buy, how big it should be. But if it is just for ourselves, then in that case we should not unnecessarily spend, but whatever is required to keep ourselves and the family happy in Krishna consciousness, that should be done, not more, not less. In other words, the specific purpose of Lord Chaitanya's advent was to establish in the present age the Vedic fact that there is one Supreme Personality of Godhead predominating and maintaining all the other innumerable living entities. Many times, even in this statement also, Mahaprabhu came for what? To give this message that there is one Lord, one Supreme Personality of Godhead who is maintaining all the other innumerable living entities. So instead of depending on other living entities, let us take complete shelter and depend on the decision of the Supreme Lord. This should be, this is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us. Instead of depending on others, other living entities, or other sources, or other ways that my uh, insurance will protect me. I know many good doctors, they will save me. Or I have good family members, they will take care of me. There was a dancer, a very famous dancer, I'm sure everybody knows, Michael Jackson. He, what did he not have actually? And he had planned his life that he is going to live for some one uh, above 100 years or something. He had made a planning, and he had a huge mansion, some few acres of land, that entire mansion is. And he had a fully equipped and sophisticated hospital inside his mansion, and he had all the best doctors to his for his service. They were there 24 hours, constantly checking Michael Jackson's heartbeat and his blood pressure and his pulse rate, and if his sugar level is fine, if his nutrients level is fine, all of that. So he was constantly under check, and Michael Jackson was thinking that now everything is under my control. Just like when I'm dancing, my feet are in my control. Similarly, my health, my life, my decisions, everything is in my control. I am the god. That is what Michael Jackson started thinking. What happened? I think at the age of 47 or something, I don't remember exactly what age, when there was a heart attack, or he got this heart attack mostly. All the best doctors were there, they were checking, but they could not do anything. They were there, all their knowledge and everything that they had failed, and they could not save Michael Jackson. So, and what happened was, Michael Jackson in the association of the devotees were chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Were devotees chanting next to Michael Jackson? No. So definitely, what was Michael Jackson thinking? I cannot die, I cannot die. I have to live for 140 years. I had planned like that. Thup. So definitely he takes birth again. We don't know in which species. Maybe in some bird species, because there are many birds also who dance. So maybe he took birth in a bird species and dancing in the bird species. And maybe in due course of time, when everybody sees that bird, they will think, wow, this bird is dancing so nicely. But they don't know in the previous birth he was Michael Jackson. This is just an example. He can be taking birth as anything, but this is for us to understand that it is very important that every moment we are conscious that we are in association of devotees, that we are taking shelter of Krishna, that we are taking shelter of Guru and Krishna, because any moment anything can happen. And if we are depending on any other aspect in our lives, any other person in our lives, any other's protection in our life other than Guru and Krishna, then we are in deep, deep problem. Then we have still not developed Krishna consciousness, because there is no Krishna in our consciousness. So with that, because the impersonalist here, Mahaprabhu is going to speak about the Mayavadis, and it is nothing different from the Mayavadis. If we are also seeking shelter of other things, despite coming into Krishna consciousness, despite getting this greatest wealth that this Guru Parampara is showering onto us. So, therefore, it is very, very important that we use our intelligence, we keep our consciousness and complete faith in the holy names of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Despite all the challenges, all the difficulties, anything that may come and go, if we are completely taking shelter of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then it is perfect. It may happen that we are praying that Krishna, we are suffering and I cannot take this suffering anymore. I'm chanting so many rounds. Why you are not helping me? It is Krishna's decision. Aren't we singing in the Shikshashtakam prayers? Rakho Aslishya padratam pinashtumam adarshanana marmohatam karotu va. Krishna, whether you embrace me so tightly that it hurts, or whether you don't look at me also, whatever you do, but for me you are my only and only shelter, you are my only Lord and Master. I do not know anything other than you, and I do not want to know anything other than you. I do not want to take any other shelter. Then what is the use of this prayer? If at the time of difficulty, just because our difficulty is not going away, therefore we are trying to seek shelter in other things, some demigods, or some other puja part, or some other means, all that is karma kandi. And we want to become Krishna conscious, not Maya conscious. So we'll pause here for today with that. If there are any questions pertaining to our sessions, then you can put it on the group, or you can ask me in the session in the beginning itself. You can note down your questions, and Krishna willing, we'll continue reading tomorrow again. So thank you very much, dear devotees, for your kind and wonderful association. Vansha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhe eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti vaishnav vrind ki jai. Shri Srimad Srila Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari
Gol
Bol.
Gol
Krishna
Maharaj
Guru
ki
Maharaj ki
jai.
jai.